Well guys, that's enough. Just cut that out, and let's talk about practicality as well as sensibility and comfort, because remember, this is an Audi and Audi cars are all about comfort and class. And remember, this is an estate, which means we'll have to talk about space as well as practicality. Or should we talk about something else first? Well, of course, Audis are supposed to be all about practicality as well as comfort and class, but when they come with a 4-liter bi-turbo V8 engine and 560 bhp of power as well as 700 Nm of torque, you have to speak about performance before you speak about comfort and those things. So what we'll do is we'll flip this video around today and talk about the boring bits later, and start it off by talking about the driving experience of the RS6 Avant. Well, now this engine is the same one which is also found on the RS7, and as I just mentioned, it makes about 560 bhp of power as well as 700 Nm of torque. That, along with the fact that it has a 565-liter boot, makes it one of the few cars which offers you practicality as well as supercar-like performance. Remember, the Audi R8 also delivers 0 to 100 kph in roughly about the same time. Remember, it takes about 3.5 seconds to get there. So in that sense, it has R8-like performance for roughly about half the price. Well, Audi makes faultless cabins, and this one is no different. The interiors are very smart, and they really look very sporty, and the materials are the best in the business. Well, and the best part is that Audi's MMI tech, which takes care of all the features on this car, can be easily used via this little wheel over here, and this is the best and the easiest tech to use. Mercedes Command Center as well as BMW's iDrive is slightly behind the system on Audi cars. Where Audi is also ahead is overall cabin quality, and even the lower end of the dashboard is really well bolted together on most of the Audi cars, and the RS6 is no different. Every time you step inside the cabin of the RS6, you'll get a very good feel-good factor about yourself as well as the car, and that is something which some of its rivals can sometimes miss on. Well, you can of course use Audi's drive select system by choosing between the comfort, automatic as well as dynamic settings on the car, and you can drive it like an everyday car by choosing the comfort mode, which means that the suspension setup is quite soft, and the exhaust note also is pretty muted. It does not have a very loud note. Of course, if you are someone who enjoys a loud and sporty note, then you can choose the dynamic mode on this car's settings. And what that mode essentially does is that it makes the exhaust note a lot more louder and a lot more sportier, and really will give you a lot of thrills every time you take this car out for a spin. Now remember, this car also comes with air suspension, which means that you can raise the suspension or lower it according to your needs. So that's a good thing for people who enjoy long distance travels and want to move the suspension slightly higher than it is to negotiate those bad patches of road. And remember, it also comes with Audi's famous Quattro system, which means that power is sent to all four wheels. Now officially it is a 60-40 split in terms of power delivery to the rear and the front, but it can deliver up to 85% of its power to the rear wheels or 70% to the front, depending on what kind of condition the car is stuck in. In terms of handling, it is pretty crisp. The steering wheel has a lot of weight into it when you take it out on the highway, and in the city it's pretty light, which means that it's easy to maneuver this car around tight parking as well as a lot of traffic. Well, one area where the RS6 is very good is in agility, and it really does change directions quicker than a housefly does. And if you are someone who enjoys taking his car to the racetrack, then this is one of the best options at the moment for the price that it offers out there. Well, this car really does pick up speeds in a hurry, and remember, 0 to 100 comes up in under 4 seconds, so you have to be very careful with your throttle inputs, because this car can do illegal speeds without even knowing it. Well, the grip from those 225 section tires out there is absolutely phenomenal, to say the least, and this car really does grip onto the road as if it's gripping onto something for life. And the body roll is absolutely non-existent. The suspension is really very taut, and when you're of course driving it in dynamic mode, the steering wheel also is pretty well weighted, which means that you can have plenty of fun with this car if you enjoy pushing it into those hilly sections of the road. Well, talking about the interiors of this car, you get this Alcantara leather seats, which are very good in terms of comfort. You also get excellent bolstering for the sides, which helps if you are someone who takes his car out on the track and pushes it into a corner. So these seats will really hold you well. And support for your lower back is excellent. Support for your under thighs is phenomenal as well. And really, it's a car to enjoy those long journeys on without any fuss at all. Well, so here I'm in the back seat of the RS6 Avant, and as you can see, headroom is more than adequate and kneeroom is generous as well. And I have place below the front seats where I can keep my feet. The seats are phenomenal in terms of comfort, and the support for the lower back is excellent as well. And in terms of practicality, you get large enough door bins to house those big 1 litre bottles, and you also get AC vents on the pillars over here as well as here in the middle to keep you comfortable on those long journeys. Well, if you are someone who wants Audi R8-like performance for roughly half the price and also the practicality as well as comfort of a proper 5-seater, then there are few options as good as the RS6 Avant. And what this comfortable cabin and that big boot also mean is that if you are planning that long trip, this car will take you with the family really quick. And even though the styling might not really appeal to a lot of purists out there, its performance will seriously take their pants off.